So what happened with my vintage Kelly? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the third and final part to my three-part series of the things that happened when purchasing this beautiful bag and adding this to my collection. So part one was the unboxing. Part two was the two bags that this beautiful Kelly 28 in the Togo leather black palladium hardware is going to replace. And number three is what happened with my vintage Kelly 28. But before we get into all of that, let me first introduce myself to those of you who are new here. My name is Kim, and I love sharing with you guys all of my luxury indulgences. That includes unboxings, reviews, and any other tips I learn along the way. So if that's something that interests you, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel. And with that said, let's get right into this. Okay, so like I said, I like to share everything that I go through when it comes to my luxury handbags and my other luxury purchases because I really want to help you guys out. So this bag, you guys know, I purchased this from a Japanese reseller and I got it at an amazing price. There were a couple of like dings on there that I was able to get out and buff out, and this bag looks absolutely pristine and it is so beautiful. I mean, look at that shine, right? So this is a very vintage bag. It's from 1989, so it is over 30 years old, right? And I absolutely loved it. I was so excited to get this bag, and it is so beautiful. Now, like I said, this box calf is sturdier than you would think. I have used this bag, of course, not as much as I wanted to, which is why I decided to get the Togo version instead. But I have used it and, you know, it does not scratch like you would think, right? Like minor things, like you can run your fingernails on it, it doesn't scratch. I mean, you would really have to like deeply like cut into it in order to make a mark on it. It is really amazing. However, it just does not fit my lifestyle just because I stress out about it so much. And yeah, the weather here. The weather is the key thing here. It just rains way too much for me to properly enjoy this bag, and it's just too beautiful to be sitting in my closet. And so that's why I decided to get the Togo version and let this one go. When I purchased this, I purchased it through a Japanese reseller that I had purchased from before. So I was very confident in the authenticity of it. And although most of the time I do get my pre-loved bags authenticated, I didn't for this one. I just thought this was going to be a forever bag for me. And I just decided I was going to skip the authentication process and just use her and enjoy her. So come time to sell this bag, I reached out to Rue Street Bags, who I had purchased my Chanel Jumbo from before, and I asked her if she could also sell this Kelly for me. I decided to go the consignor route because I know that she has far more reach. She has a much bigger audience than me, and I know that she has established a really great reputation. I know that because it is such a big amount of money to go back and forth, I felt like the professional would do it better than me as an individual. So that's why I decided to go to her. She also told me that she would be able to get the amount that I wanted from this, and her fees are so reasonable. And so yeah, we decided that she was going to take a look at this and, you know, decide on a price, and then we would go take it from there. So before she received this bag, I did send her quite a bit of pictures of this bag. And the first thing she asked me was, has it been re-dyed? And I told her, no, I don't believe it has, and that the Japanese reseller had not mentioned it. And they are usually very good in their descriptions when it has been retouched. And so I told her, no, I don't believe it has. And so she said, okay. And she told me to FedEx it to her. So I sent the bags to her. She received it. She listed it. And she immediately got a lot of inquiries. So she had a few buyers that were very interested. And one in particular wanted to get this authenticated. And of course, you know, she said, yes, please do. And she sent her all the pictures. And the potential buyer had sent it to Baba Baby for authentication. What happened was Baba Baby came back and said that this bag has been dyed. Now that was a really big shock. And Jazz at Rue Street Bags, she immediately reached out to me and said, hey, Baba Baby's saying that this bag is re-dyed. And I just did not know what to say, because being re-dyed is a difference of at least a couple $1,000s. So I was really shocked. I said, honestly, I don't think that bag is redyed. And I decided to reach out to a former Hermes artisan who I have been following, and she's just amazing. And I asked her if she thinks this bag looks redyed. And she said that in her opinion, because she's not going to give me like a formal statement or anything like that, I just asked her, like, can you just give me your opinion as to what you think, just so that I can make a informed decision as to how to proceed with the sale, right? And she said it just looks like it's just beautifully patinaed, that the shine actually just develops naturally for a bag of this age. And she just thought it was like a beautiful, well-kept bag. And I did thank her so, so much, because you know what? It's hard for somebody to give an opinion, especially when it's being disputed, right? And so I didn't want to put her on the spot or anything. I just asked her, like, I just need to know in order to make my next move, right? And so I was so, so grateful for her to just tell me that she did not think it was redyed, because that gave me the confidence to do the next step, which is to email Baba Baby and say, could you please take another look and let me know, because I don't believe this bag is redyed. So Baba Baby replied back. She said that she looked at the pictures again and her opinion was not changed at all. She did indeed believe that it was a dyed bag. But if I wanted to send her new pictures, that she would look at it again, and of course, I would have to pay her fees of $125, which is her authentication fees for Hermes Kelly bags, and that she would reevaluate based on new pictures. So I didn't know what to do. I just told Jazz that let's just try to sell it for maybe $1,000 less and see if anybody wants it the way it is. So Jazz did list it. There were inquiries, but honestly, people were hesitant to purchase this bag because they thought it was dyed. So right about that time, Jazz contacted me and said, I'm so, so sorry, but she has a family emergency. She has to leave the country and it's going to be about a month, right? She didn't want to hang on to the bag without it moving. And so she was going to send the bag back to me. I said, that's fine. I was totally okay with that. So we settled the Chanel jumbo price because she sold that within a week. It was so quick. She got me a really good price for it. I was happy with that. Of course, she deducted her fees and she deducted the shipping cost of me sending this back to her. Of course, sending it back to me was on her. Like, she paid for that. She was so apologetic. She felt so bad that she had to send the bag back to me, but I appreciated her so much. And honestly, when Baba Baby came back saying that this bag was redyed, I can see any other consignor just being like, this bag is redyed, I can't sell it, or doing something like that. No, she was not like that at all. She said, it is what it is. Let's try to get this much for you instead. She just put so little stress on me. I'm just so happy that I went to her to sell my bag. She sent this bag back to me and I finally received it. I looked at this bag with a fine-tooth comb. Like, I looked at every single nook and cranny. I did online searches on what bags that have been redyed look like. A lot of times, redyed bags will have like residue, like paint residue inside of the stitches. A lot of times they will have like cracking developing if it has been redyed. And I looked at this bag and there was not a single sign that it had been redyed. The thing with pictures are they can be quite deceiving because the lighting makes such a huge difference. The touch and feel of it too, right? So like you can see, like I am pushing this bag down and honestly it does not feel like it's redyed. Like you don't see any cracking except for the natural wrinkles. And I was told that if it is a redyed bag, you will see something that looks very like not genuine. I did not believe this bag was redyed. So the next step I did was to get a quote from Fashion File. Now, Fashion File did give me a very good quote for this bag. I mean, in the condition it is, because there are no like scratches or anything. It's just in amazing condition. I thought about sending it to Fashion Pal. And Rue Street Bag had still been communicating with me through this. And so I told her, like, oh, you know, I got the bag. It's so beautiful. I just honestly don't believe that it's re-dyed. But I reached out to Fashion Pal and they offered me this. And Jazz was like, no, that's way too low. How about just trying to sell it on your own in the Facebook group? I seriously thought about doing that myself, but I just could not get this like thought out of my head that this bag is not re-dyed. It's really not. I just couldn't. And so I decided to go to Baba Baby. I emailed her and said, hey, I just got the bag back. I've looked at it. I honestly do not believe it's re-dyed. I told her I would happily submit any photos that she needed, and she does have an extensive series of photos that you're supposed to take when you authenticate through her. And I said I would really, really want to get this reevaluated. And I have to commend her on her professionalism, because honestly, if somebody came to me and said, you're wrong, like if you are an established authenticator and somebody said, hey, you know what, I think you're wrong, you need to do this again, I could take offense, right? But no, she did not. She immediately emailed me back and sent me all the photos, and she reassured me. She said, I will look at it as if I am looking at a brand new bag that I have never seen before. I sent her the photos, and she came back to me and she said, I cannot see a darn thing. So what happened was I had taken the photos in front of a window indoors. However, the window is kind of skewed towards the side. And so the light was hitting it at an angle, and it was just too dark for her to look at the images clearly. And she asked me, like, can you go outdoors and take the photos? And I said, absolutely. So I took my bag, I took it outside, I set it down on, you know, patio furniture that I had, and I took the photos, every single one of them, over again. And outdoors photos in natural sunlight is just so, so important. I could not emphasize this enough. So if you have a vintage bag or a box cap or something that, you know, like it really needs to show all the details, I highly recommend you to go outside if you can to take these photos, because Baba Baby said, yes, that is much better. And yes, your bag is in its original condition. Guys, the relief that came over me, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Because guys, that is a matter of like at least a couple $1,000s, right? That's a lot of money. And the fact that she reevaluated everything and overturned her decision, her initial decision, yes, I was so, so happy. I thanked her and she replied and she said, I'm really, really glad you came back to me to get this reevaluated. And I appreciate that about her so much. She is the most professional person out there. She is the queen of authenticating Hermes bags. And I highly recommend you to do that for every single pre-loved Hermes bag that you ever get, because honestly, that peace of mind is totally worth the $125. And I regret so much not doing it when I first got this bag, because had I done it then, I probably would have had the opportunity to return it if I needed to. I always tell you guys on my channel that when you buy pre-loved, you need to get it authenticated immediately. And I didn't. This was the first and only bag that I didn't do it for. And it got me. So yeah, I highly recommend you authenticating every single piece that you get pre-loved. Anyways, this bag is now going to go back on sale with Rue Street Bag. She's coming back next week, and she said that she would happily sell this bag for me. And we now know we have all the papers and everything. We have the authentication, and we now know that this is just a stunning, stunning vintage bag in its original condition. I mean, look at the beautiful corners. It has not been touched up. It has just been in amazing condition, and I'm so happy I will get what this bag is worth because I went through the authentication. And funny thing, I got this bag the day that this bag was re-authenticated through Baba Baby. It is a 24-hour turnover time, and so 24 hours later she came back and told me that this is also authentic. She joked, she said, maybe you can remember to take it outdoors this time. The initial authentication that the potential buyer had gotten through the photos that Rue Street Bags had taken, those were taken indoors. And I think that's why those photos made it look like it was re-dyed. And I think that's why Baba Baby had deemed it a dyed bag. But if you take this out in the sunlight, you can see every single detail of it so much better. So again, if you are authenticating Hermes bags through Baba Baby, I highly recommend you guys to take it outdoors in the sun, in the natural light, which is what I did for this bag, and it came back authentic. I'm really, really happy, and that is the long, long story of what happened to my vintage Kelly this beautiful box calf bag that I am letting go. But yeah, I am sharing this because I really, really want to help you guys. If you ever purchase a vintage bag, you want to get it authenticated to make sure that it is not a re-dyed bag, because it's one thing to know that it's authentic, but a layperson is not going to be able to tell if it has been touched up or not, whereas these professionals will be. And so I think for that point, even if you are 100% sure that it is an authentic bag, I would highly recommend getting it authenticated again and doing it within the return period if you have one. Even for bags that you think are forever bags that you will never ever sell, get it authenticated. Anyways, I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, I would really appreciate if you could hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I do plan to do a comparison video between these two bags because they're both in the 28 size. And since I still have this bag in my possession, I thought that would be a good video to do. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the series. I hope you found the information really helpful. And with that said, I'm going to wrap this long video up. I really, really hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next one. Take care, everybody.